Hello everyone, I hope you can hear me over the washing machine, but I just wanted to come on. I haven't posted a video for a little while because I've been really busy doing my coaching course, and I've also just come back from a week in the Alps, which was incredible, like absolutely incredible. And as I did in Amsterdam, I kind of had an idea that I was going to do some vlogging, and I just didn't. I was too busy having a great time. But I just wanted to pop on because I remember when I had an eating disorder, I did this thing where when I thought about what I was going to have at lunchtime or breakfast or a snack, it was like this kind of mental arithmetic of, well, what have I had? What will I have later? You know, what's dinner going to be? So for example, let's just hone in on lunch. You'd be like, well, what's dinner going to be? Okay, well, dinner's going to be this. So, right, so I'm going to have that at dinner, which means then I shouldn't really have it. And it was just this spiral of, like, what's lunch going to be? You know, like, oh, if I'm having pasta today, I can't have pasta now. And then if I'm having, like, a pizza later, then that's bread. And so I shouldn't have bread, blah, 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 blah. And I ended up in this place of, like analysis paralysis. You just end up being like, oh, God, I don't know what I want. And funnily enough, often what would happen is you end up going to your safe option. You just go back and have whatever is the safe thing that is like, oh, well, I'll just have that then. And I think this is where, in recovery, you have to get proactive. One thing that helped me a lot is prediction. You have to know when you go into recovery that when you start making changes in your behaviour, pro-recovery changes, your eating disorder is going to kick up a stink, and it's going to try and suggest all manner of reasons why you shouldn't do that thing. And one of those may well be, oh, well, you can't have scrambled eggs on toast now because you're having, I don't know, burgers later and chips, and that's carbs and bread and blah, 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 and all the, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you can't have pizza now because you're going out for pizza later, and you can't have pizza twice in a day. Oh, my God. And I think this is, again, prediction. No, it's going to happen. Like, the glorious thing about eating disorders is that they are incredibly predictable. And it's a pain in the arse when you're living with one, but actually, when you come at things from the recovery perspective, it's really handy. Like, you know what's going to happen. You know that actually that thought pops into your head of, oh, there's pizza in the freezer, oh, I fancy that. You know, instantly, eating sort of going like, oh, well, what about later? What about this? And and how much of the pizza? The whole pizza, the half pizza, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff is predictable. You know, all of the stuff is predictable. And if something happens that you can't predict, if something's completely out of the blue, that can only happen once. You can only use that as an excuse once. The whole, oh, well, I just didn't know what to do in the moment, so I just ended up having the safe thing. In every single example of those moments, you can only use that excuse once. After that, it's your choice. It becomes your choice. You know, like that thought comes into your head of, oh, I really fancy a sandwich. And instantly there's the, oh, but we're going to be having burger and chips later, and then that's got bread, and so da-da-da. And you then have a choice in that moment. You either go along with that eating disorder conversation and you change your behaviours based on those thoughts, or you go, no, don't care what I'm having later. I'm having a sandwich. And what is that fear? Oh, that fear is that can't have bread twice in a day, and that's too many carbs. So what can I do now that's going to even more hit home that those rules are completely irrelevant in the life that I am aiming at? Because that's what we've got to do in recovery. You have to accept that you're going to be coming up against friction and make changes in the now to pursue the life that you want to be able to live. You know, if one day in your future you want to be able to just have whatever the hell you want for lunch, irrespective of what you're going to be having for dinner, then you have got to go over this friction. You've got to go over this bump in the road at some point. Why the hell not now? Why the hell not now? So yeah, basically I just wanted to come on and highlight that stumbling block, that fear, it's completely eating disorder driven. And actually, the best thing you can do, draw a line in the sand, action your rebellion, and look for ways that you can really piss off the thing that's at the nub of it. You know, if the fear is, you know, it's a snack, right? Then you know that at lunchtime you're going to have a sandwich. And it gets to snack time and you think, oh, I fancy some toast. And instantly it's all, but I had toast at breakfast and having bread at lunchtime. But okay, draw a line in the sand. Again, the likelihood is you could predict this thinking because this thinking has probably come up many times before. And if it is the first time, remember, you can only use that excuse once. Only once, and then it's your choice. So in that moment, you go, okay, that's the eating disorder thought. Bread is just bread. And actually, in recovery, my job is to rebel against all eating disorder thoughts, which means that right now I have to have toast as a snack. And actually, if your immediate thing is, oh, well, one piece, you go, no, I'm not doing that, because that's a cop-out. That's that thing where your eating disorder's gone, oh, God, she's not listening. She's actually going to have the bread. Well, have one. And you're going to go, no, I'm having 3. I'm having 3 slices of toast. You're not going to like that. Oh, you're having a little hissy fit. Oh, dear, what a shame. And you do it. Predict the hissy fit. Predict it. Apply what you know is important, the opposite rebellious actions, and abundance. Honestly, if there's one thing I could hit home hard enough, it's that what is this? Oh dear, I apologise, my hair's a real state right now. It's that abundance is key. You know, if your eating disorder's like 1, and you're like, oh, I'm going to have 1.5. It's like painful, it's like pouring it's like the plaster thing. You know, it's like tearing it off very, very slowly, which is excruciating. Whereas actually, when you're eating disorder's like, have 1 piece, you go, I'm having 3. Suck it. It's like, and although maybe the friction to initiate that action is quite high, actually when you do it, the positive outcome and the momentum that you gain from doing it is so much greater. So yeah, anyway, I am meant to be making lunch right now, but I just wanted to come on and say, because I was stood here making some lunch and I thought, I remember so many times when lunch was so complicated. It was like, well, what's later and what's snack and what's this and what's that, and almost if I want this now, but then actually when I'm eating it, I actually crave that, and then it was so complicated. At the end of the day, the option is rebellious action. That's it. If you're in recovery, the only thing that you can do is rebellious action. And that means any eating sort of thought that pops up, you apply that. You take that opposite action. You have the pizza at lunchtime when you know you're going to be having pizza at dinner. You have the double thick sandwich when you know you're going to be having burger and chips later. And you have it with crisps as well, because you know what? You're going to really hit home. It doesn't matter. All the rules about bread and carbs and blah, 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 and all that restriction is irrelevant in your recovery. Your eating disorder's opinion of what is normal, of what's excessive, of what's too much, of what's just right, of what's this, of what's... It's all irrelevant in your recovery. Completely and utterly irrelevant. So separate from it. Identify. It's important. Your eating disorder, as I said, is a brilliant marker for what you should be doing. You know, the moment you feel that friction, that's a sign that you need to do that thing. The moment you have that little pop of thought of, oh, there's a pizza, and then instantly eating disorders, oh no, you're not going to have pizza because you're having that, and it's probably better to have this, and then that would take the oven, and then and what is it? But all that, no, separate. Separate yourself from that. No, that's eating disorder. The little flickering the little flickering thought of, I want pizza, that's you. And then you go, and you put that pizza in the oven. And if the thought of, oh my gosh, it's going to take 20 minutes to cook is a concern, then you get a snack. You go to the thing. You get a bag of crisps out. You go and get, I don't know, some toast. You make some toast. You have a big bowl of cereal. Whatever. That doesn't matter. More is always better. But the key thing is that you identify the eating disorder thought, you separate yourself from it, and you initiate the action that you need to take to move away from it. And I can promise you, if you do this consistently, over and over and over again, you'll get to a place where actually food isn't this complicated, interconnected thing. It's not like, oh God, right, so lunchtime's this. You don't need to micromanage or microanalyze what you eat. Like, if you fancy a sandwich, you just fancy a sandwich. And whether it's 10:30 in the morning, breakfast, 10:30 at night, you just fancy a sandwich. And you just make a sandwich and you eat it. Like, your recovered life can and will be that wonderfully, brilliantly, normally simple, but only if you commit to the hard work and the attack that it's going to take right now. Recovery is not something you can be passive about. You have to initiate your attack. You have to be proactive. You have to go in with that mindset of, right, okay, eating sort of thought, eating sort of thought, eating sort of thought, right, rebellious, how am I going to rebel? All these things. And it can seem never ending when you first start doing it. And it can sometimes feel like the more you do, the more pops up. But that's okay, that is part of the process. And if you keep doing, if you commit and you keep doing it, and maybe you slip up, but you get back up. You get back up and you go, you know what, no, I'm not letting that slip up happen. I'm not letting that start the new trajectory downwards. No, I'm getting up, I'm doing it. I promise you will get to that place where it's easy and simple and free. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and make my lunch because I'm not very good at multitasking, it appears. So yeah, anyway, I am hoping to do a few more videos and get back into the routine of doing at least one a week. And yeah, speak to you soon.